F. Sionil Jose, or, in full, Francisco Sionil Jose, was born in Rosales, Pangasinan. Jose, born December 3, 1924, was the eldest of the two boys and a girl. The years following Antonio's departure were fraught with physical hardship for the family he left behind. Jose remembers his grandmother saying, "If we were only smarter, we wouldn't be having such difficult times today." Jose's mother sold rice cakes to support her family. Jose himself raised hogs and was hired out as a farm laborer. Despite their poverty, Jose's mother insisted that all her children complete elementary school. Jose attended Rosales Elementary School, where one of his teachers inculcated in him his lifelong love of books. After Jose finished elementary school, he went to live in Manila with his uncle, where he did household chores in exchange for tuition at Far Eastern University High School. Jose was in his senior year during World War II when the Japanese attacked Manila in December 1941 and schools were closed. Although it was 3 months short of the full term, students were given credit for the year. High school thus completed, Jose returned to his hometown. His mother's house was burned down, so the family stayed in Rosales with a second cousin that was a doctor. Schools were reopened in late 1943, and, in June 1944, Jose enrolled at Santo Tomas University in Manila. American air raids on the city began in September that year, and in November he and his mother returned to Rosales, walking for 3 days, before they could find a calesa to take them the rest of the distance. In January, as United States forces neared Rosales, Jose and a young cousin set out by foot down the highway to join them, only to be sent running for cover by Japanese sentry fire. When the Americans finally took the town, Jose became a paid civilian technician in the U.S. Medical Corps. He qualified for this position since he had assisted his cousin in her clinic, and at that time hoped to become a doctor himself. As soon as the war was over, Jose returned to Manila and enrolled in pre-medical courses at the Manila College of Pharmacy and Dentistry, which he attended for 1 semester until the University of Santo Tomas again reopened. For the first 2 years he pursued pre-medical training. When it became apparent that he was not suited for the sciences, he transferred to the Faculty of Liberal Arts. Here his English teacher, who was, according to Jose, a wonderful writer, and who introduced him to the finer aspects of literature, encouraged his writing. It was she who taught him how to dramatize his stories rather than tell simple narratives. When Jose was a junior, he met fellow student Maria Teresita Jovlanos. Jovlanos herself had attended the foremost girls' school in the city. Her families were unhappy that their daughter was interested in an author. They thought there was no future for writers. In August 1949 the couple eloped. But the objection lasted very briefly. Jose comments, just about 6 months. Although he would have graduated from Santo Tomas in March 1949, Jose left the university in December in order to accept a job as assistant editor with the United States Information Service. "The diploma never really mattered to me," he says. "I went to school because I wanted to get a job." In the meantime, Jose founded and became the National Secretary of the Philippine branch of PEN, an international organization of poets, playwrights, essayists and novelists. In 1958 Jose became editor of Progress, an annual publication of the Manila Times. By then he was one of the highest paid editors in the country, although, he notes, he still lived very plainly. "I didn't even have a car," he laments. 3 years later Jose became managing editor of the Asia magazine, a Sunday supplement distributed throughout Asia from Hong Kong, and moved his family to that British colony. While there Jose published The Pretenders. This is the most widely read of Jose's works, and has been translated into several languages. His writings have also appeared in literary journals and anthologies all over Asia, and in American and German publications. Throughout his career, Jose's writings have changed to better the lives of average Filipino families. He is one of the most critically acclaimed Filipino authors internationally, although much underrated in his own country, because of his authentic Filipino English. F. Sionil Jose is the only Filipino writer who has produced a series of novels that constitute an epic imaginative creation of a century of Philippine life. Jose and Jovlanos opened the Solidaridad bookshop and publishing firm in 1965 in the lettered old family house on Padre 4 Street in Ermita. Jose rented this house until April 1976, when they took out mortgage on their own home in order to buy the bookstore building from Jovlanos' family. Jovlanos managed the bookshop from its inception, and the children performed such chores as salesman, janitor, cashier and proofreader. The bookshop offers mostly hard-to-find books. It is said to be one of the favorite haunts of many local rights. 2 years after establishing the bookshop, Jose started the Solidaridad Art Gallery for the promotion of Philippine artists. The gallery, like the bookshop, also served as a center for cultural exchange with other Asian countries. The gallery was forced to close in the early 1970s when the landlord decided to convert the building it was housed in into a restaurant. Jose still continues to hold small exhibits and to sell paintings to walk-in customers on the third floor at the bookstore. He notes sadly that running an art gallery is risky, losing business. Still, he has no regrets. Despite financial losses, he found it a personally satisfying experience. During the next decade, Jose was equally active. In 1971 he received an Asian and Pacific Council Fellowship to study Japanese modernization in Japan and Southeast Asian regionalism. In 1972 he took time out to stay in Tokyo to write My Brother and My Executioner. In 1974 he became a professorial lecturer on Philippine culture in the Graduate School of the University of the East, Manila. Jose has 3 First Prize Palanca Awards for his short stories, and 3 First Prize National Press Club Awards for journalism. He was recognized as an outstanding alumnus in 1974 by the University of Santo Tomas Alumni Association, and was given the Fernando M. Guerrero Memorial Foundation Award for Literature in 1979 by the same organization. Also in 1979 he received the Republic Heritage Cultural Award for Literature from the City of Manila and the 10th Annual Cultural Center of the Philippines Award. In 1980 the Ilocano Heritage Foundation presented him with the Toad Award for Cultural Nationalism. Also in 1980, he was awarded the Ramon Magsaysay Award for Journalism, Literature, and Creative Communication Arts, the most prestigious of its kind in Asia. In 2001, he was awarded the prestigious title of Philippines National Artist for Literature. Jose believes that a writer's capital is his childhood, and most of his novels revolve around the vivid images of his early life. The object of all of Jose's writing, whether fiction or essay, is to move people to change society toward truth and social justice.